What's going on, guys? Coach Miles here from High Performance, and today we're discussing nasal-only breathing, why breathing through your nose may be the key to your athletic performance. So why is nasal-only breathing so important? Well, our noses are natural air filters. Hair, sinuses, and mucus are designed to help filter the air we breathe, theoretically reducing the risk of colds and other illnesses. Although we can breathe through our mouths, they're not built the same, so they're not designed for breathing as well as our noses are. Anxiety reduction. Most of us are chronic overbreathers and hyperventilators when we're stressed, breathing shallowly in and out of our mouths, primarily up into our chest. Just by simply switching to nasal breathing and trying to breathe more into your belly, you can mitigate these anxiety-provoking responses and help your body adapt to any stress. On average, we breathe 20,000 times per day. So while training can, of course, improve our CO2 tolerance, our training sessions only account for 1 or 2 hours out of a 24-hour day. Lots of damage can be done in that non-training time, right? Imagine 20,000 bad squats or push-ups, ingraining that improper movement pattern. This is no different. And finally, nasal breathing has a host of benefits like improved sleep and energy, easier breathing with reduced breathlessness during exercise, naturally increased production of EPO and red blood cells, improved oxygenation of working muscles and organs, reduction of lactic acid buildup and fatigue, improved running economy and VO2 max, improved aerobic performance, and even improved anaerobic performance as well. So isn't carbon dioxide a waste product? Yes and no. So there are receptors in the brain that work like a thermostat. As the athlete inhales, oxygen is brought into the lungs where it can be taken by the blood to the desired parts of the body. Carbon dioxide is then exhaled as the athlete breathes out. It is this aspect that the thermostat in the brain is responsible for monitoring, along with the blood's pH level. As the carbon dioxide levels within the body increase, the thermostat increases breathing rate in order to expel this gas. Having said that, when this cycle is completed excessively, over the course of months, years, and even decades, the thermostat can become increasingly sensitive to changes in carbon dioxide, meaning less carbon dioxide is now required in order to increase an athlete's breathing rate. As this sensitivity continues to increase, the thermostat kicks in on this increased breathing rate at a lower carbon dioxide level sooner and sooner and sooner. This lower tolerance of carbon dioxide may seem beneficial to the athlete initially, as they are ridding their body of excess carbon dioxide. However, as the body continues to lower the amount of carbon dioxide it can tolerate, the athlete will not only experience increased respiratory rates at a lower carbon dioxide level, but the amount of oxygen released from the blood into the muscles will also continue to decrease. Remember, as carbon dioxide increases, hemoglobin releases oxygen. This means that an athlete with a reduced threshold of carbon dioxide will have less O2 going to their muscles, as the oxygen is not released from the hemoglobin into the working muscles. This clearly demonstrates the purpose of carbon dioxide being much more than just a waste gas, as it is the key variable driving the release of oxygen from the red blood cells to be utilized throughout the body. So again, if we're looking at this chart here, we'd much rather be this blue line here with the thermostat turning on later if we can help it, if we can train to get to that level. And nasal-only breathing will help us get there. So performance benefits. Again, nasal versus oral breathing. Nasal breathing reduces hyperventilation, and hyperventilation makes us offload more CO2, so oxygenation would be harder. Improve stamina. Nasal-only breathing reduces breathing rate by over 50% as mentioned, and therefore decreases perceived exertion by up to 60%. Nasal-only breathing boosts cardio and sexual health because nitric oxide is released and causes vasodilation. So again, if you look at the arteries over here, this is a normal artery. The blood is going to flow much more easily through this dilated artery. That nitric oxide will cause that dilation, and nasal-only breathing releases nitric oxide, so that's a win-win. Okay, so again, the blood will be able to get where it needs to go more efficiently. Further, there is plenty of research that proves that the faster the body can switch between a stressed state and a relaxed state, the quicker the individual will be able to recover, and that's going to help out any athlete, no matter aerobic or anaerobic, and that helps out not only between workouts, but even between sets in a workout as well. So where do we start? Well, how do you know if you're currently breathing effectively and efficiently or not? Like we always say with our program design, if you're not assessing, you're guessing. So enter the BOLT test, right? Body oxygen level test. So all you're going to do, breathe in, breathe out fully, and then you're going to wait until your body feels an urge to have to take a big breath in, okay? So it's not necessarily taking a big breath and holding it, as that becomes a test of, just willpower. This is just a test of breathing out, seeing how long until your body needs another breath. Again, if I'm done the test and I have to take a big, huge breath, I didn't do the test properly, right? When I take that first breath after the test, it should be not a very forceful, it should be just relaxed and easy breath. Over here we have some relative standards, right? So if I get 10 seconds or less, that's very poor, and that athlete's breathing is terrible, and they need a lot of work, okay? 10 to 30 seconds is satisfactory, and the athlete's breathing needs some work, but it's doing okay. 30 to 40 seconds is where we'd like to see most athletes. It's very good. Athletes' breathing is ideal, and then 40 seconds or more, you see this often with, endurance runners, Navy SEALs as well. This is elite. Their breathing is extremely efficient, and that's not a main focus of the program, as they're already where they need to be in regards to the breathing. Okay, so what can be done to improve it? Our breathing can be trained just like anything else. You can incorporate nasal-only breathing into your warm-ups, for example. Your warm-up before your workout, you could do nasal-only breathing for, a couple of weeks until you get more used to it and more efficient with it. You could put it into your recovery sessions as well if you're doing, nasal-only breathing meditation, for example, as a post-workout cool-down. You could go for walks and practice nasal-only breathing. You could even eventually work up to doing it during your session. You can see our friend over here on the right has tape over his mouth to ensure that he's breathing through his nose only. Some of us may never progress to this level, but that's okay. That's just another tool to have in your toolbox. Again, some people do it during their sleep. If you're not comfortable doing this, no problem, but it is a good method, as again, if we're mouth breathers and we're sleeping 8 hours a day, that's a third of our time spent breathing through our mouth, right? So again, if we can capitalize on proper sleep through nasal-only breathing during our sleep as well, that's going to be a huge benefit to our performance and overall health. And finally, just our everyday life, right? Eventually, the more we practice this, we hopefully become second nature, and then that just becomes your new breathing method. Thanks, guys. That's all we got for today. As always, if you have any questions, you can email us info@ironperformance.ca. Hit us up on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.